Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Stand in line for your fix. A triple shot of Mark is in the mix, serving you yet another round of fish and grits. December 5th, 2017. How's it going for you, fellas?
It's a beautiful day knowing that you made the majority of your playoffs in fantasy. It's a beautiful feeling.
Ah, there we go.
Yes,
There we go.
indeedy.
And I won a match in Marcus League by point 0.2 points.
Shout out to Geno Atkins, huh? Georgia
Woo!
product.
Geno Atkins came in
Damn.
clutch
Pulled
with
out.
the with the two tackles and one tackle assist.
Hey man, that's the best one. Squeak those victories out and just get on the road, man. You
Boy,
got you got.
when I lost Odell, I thought the whole season was over, and it's amazing I'm still in the hunt. And so it's a beautiful thing.
All right, that's what's up, man. We're gonna have some good battles in that league coming over the next 4 weeks. So
Yes, sir.
Oh,
and I love the 2 week playoff format. That was in the other league I got eliminated in. Man, I just had some rough go arounds in that one. So
Hey man, fantasy's been rough this year. If people really they really have to admit it. It's been a rough year.
no, 100%, man. I mean, if it wasn't for waivers, I had no business in the playoffs. I mean, I even looked at
yeah.
my
This,
roster.
Who did
this
I
has
draft?
definitely
I
been a
didn't
wave
draft
Yeah,
off
anybody.
season.
I looked at my roster. I'm like, all right, Dalvin Cook hurt. Andrew Luck was a bust.
Yeah.
Can't do nothing with Amari Cooper, who only had 2 games with double digits. It's like, bruh, how did I make the playoffs with Big Ben and Juju Smith Schuster
Hey,
leading my
God,
team?
God came and blessed your team, son.
But man, let's talk about the
Robbie
blessings.
Anderson.
Robbie, you said Robbie Anderson?
Yes, sir.
Man, he been coming in
Hey, it's
clutch
been
for a
some
lot
good
of people.
waiver wire pickups this year. If you want to
Saved
be,
my life in 5 different leagues. You better believe it.
Between
Shouts
that's
out to
cool.
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson and I say all the rookie running backs, they really showing their ass this year. It's
Yeah, one goes down, another one pops up.
Well, man, let's
Oh
let's
yeah.
talk about something that's just been going down. It's the Justice League sales. What's going on with these sales? Why are they not bringing in the money that everybody thought they would? Is it the time of the year? Is it the movie? What's going on with the Justice League, fellas?
It's a few things to me. One of them is could be the bad reception that Batman v Superman got, but then you can also look at it as well. People really enjoyed Wonder Woman, so coming off of Wonder Woman, you think Justice League would be hot. Well, it's the new trendy thing to hate DC movies or anything DC, and then the whole thing that was going behind the scene between Zack Snyder and Kevin Feige. I'm not Kevin Feige and Josh Whedon, whose touch of the movie is it? There's a few dodgy CGI that everybody wants to complain about. Like every Marvel movie doesn't have a green screen that you can personally see, but it's just a trendy thing to hate DC at the moment right now. Wonder Woman escaped that I guess that backlash because being one of the first female superhero movies amongst, female direct being having a female director and also just being a pretty damn good movie. So it escaped that criticism. But it's just a trendy thing to hate anything DC right now. Me personally, I really enjoy the film. I know Marcus really enjoyed the film. The people I talked to really enjoying the film. It just happened to be you heard the right person complain about it, and it just was popular to not really like it.
For me, I think it's a blend of people who, A, like Griff said, going in with preconceived notions and just automatically writing it off because they may have seen some reviews and, oh, well, DC ain't good anyway, so I'm not going to check it out. I'll wait until they come out on Blu-ray, blah,
Hmm.
blah, blah. Because for a lot of people that attempted to throw shade and deservedly so at Batman v Superman. One of the biggest flaws that I remembered about that movie when I saw it in the theaters is that there was just parts of it that didn't make sense to me.
Hmm.
Now, in hindsight, when they came out with their DVDs and Blu-rays, the director's cut with all the stuff that they left on the cutting room floor that they added back into the movie. Well, when you watch the entire director's cut, the movie actually makes a lot more sense, and it's actually a little bit better than
That's
what you
more
got in the
coherent.
movie theaters. Yeah. So I think that, they're looking at it from that standpoint, possibly that, oh, well, they'll probably mess it up in the movies, but I'll just get the director's cut on DVD and just keep it moving. So I look for them to get a little push maybe on the after box office sales per se. Another thing is most movie viewers now, because they don't choose to look at it as a comic book reader would per se. They're just a comic book movie fan, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you go into it and you don't have an open mind when you go to see these movies. You don't go through and approach things with a clean slate mentality. You're already comparing it to something else before you even really start watching it. And to me, that does a disservice to the people that are actually trying to watch the movie, because how are you going to go in with preconceived notions about something that's never been made before? I never really understood that. Or you automatically have to compare, since this is a group superhero DC movie, well, it has to be at least as good as Avengers. And it's no, not really, because the Avengers is a whole different planet, whole different universe, whole different storyline. I don't really care to compare the two, because if that was the case, then they'd just be the same thing. I don't really get that factor either, why everything has to be so competitive and it has to be one or the other, or you have to pick a side, or you have to be a DC guy, or you have to be a Marvel guy. No,
People are
motherfucker,
childish.
comic books. I read all comic books. I read DC, I read Dark Horse, I read Image, I read Wildstorm. I do them all. So I'm not about to sit and get pigeonholed, for lack of a better term, into, oh, I have to choose a side. No, I choose my side as a good old-fashioned nerd growing up. This is a dream come true for me, and I ain't gonna let none of y'all take it away from me. So I'll watch them as I see fit. I'll judge them as I see fit, but I'll judge them independent and into themselves. I won't sit and compare and be like, well, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy was cool, but if they wanted to flip it, they should have made it dark like the Dark Knight was. And it's nah, there's no point in that. I'll judge them accordingly and move around.
I agree. And then another thing I think that does hurt the Justice League film was a lot of the discussion was that WB was interfering, and they cut like 30 to 40 minutes of the movie, and there's a shorter run time they were getting. So everybody was kind of looking for excuses. It's like, the first thing that kind of came out was like, there you go, Justice League gonna suck. And then when everybody found out it was 2 hours, like, oh, it must really suck because it's in 2. So people had their own perceived notions. Now that's why they probably did not see the film and then come out and see it. If you go watch the film, you will enjoy it, because I'm pretty sure the majority of the people that listen to this, or the majority of people who are going to see these films, grew up on like the Justice League cartoon, Superman cartoon, Batman cartoon. So they know enough of these characters that they don't need to go in and be like, oh, well, who's the Flash? I'm pretty sure the majority of people know who the Flash is. It's the Flash been popular since what, the 70s, Marcus, or the 80s when they had their own TV show for a while. Like DC's been popping, so these people know the backstory, so they don't go see these movies for whatever reason and just want to try to find a reason to complain, in my opinion. And they're missing out on something good, because I think DC really got it right with this movie and with Wonder Woman. And going forward, I'm interested to see what they're going to have, and I'm interested to see these characters again on screen interacting with amongst each other. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the DVD sales are going to pick up, like the director's cut, like I was just talking about. That may be where the money at right there. People want to see the full story, not the condensed 2-hour version,
And another thing that people don't realize in this whole, if they choose to do the whole Marvel versus DC thing, people have to take into consideration too. Studios, Marvel doesn't have any limitations on what they can do or how they can interpret it. They can do whatever the hell they want to. DC has to function under the umbrella of Warner Brothers. They have to ship and them deciding that they want to edit this, or we don't like the way that this looks, or we think you should do it this way or that way. Marvel doesn't necessarily have those kind of constraints. So if we're so quick to jump on, oh, Marvel is just so heads and above and this, that, and that, well, they technically should be. So yeah, everything that they should put out should be a spectacular. Seeing as if they put out a movie like every 4 months, to be blockbusters, but that's not the case. But they still get a pass because folks are just biased like that.
Yeah, true bias.
Yeah, that's legit, man. Man, what do y'all think of all these sexual assault allegations that's been coming out the woodworks? It seems like left and right, you see big name after big name getting caught up in these allegations, man. How do you feel the industry is right now? Do you feel like it's people forcing these people to come out with these stories? Do you think everything's legit? How do y'all break down all these sexual allegations, man? Because it's a lot. Some big names getting thrown out.
It took too long. It took too long for a lot of this stuff to come out because it's been going on for years.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, because it seemed like everything's coming out at once.
But it was a domino. It's a domino effect, and it all
big ass domino.
It all stemmed from the whole thing that Colin Kaepernick did. Because we're gonna go back in time and we're gonna look at this moment of what Colin Kaepernick did, where he made it okay to look at a situation and say, you know what, I'm not gonna let my situation that I'm in can stop me from speaking out against things that I'm doing. I just don't agree with. I don't have to be to conform like everybody else is. And it gave people courage to go combat against these, I guess, the social norms. Like, it's always been talked about. We kind of already been understood that Hollywood's been a kind of a dirty
Oh yeah.
backyard. We already knew things went
Yeah.
on in Hollywood that a lot of people always knew they didn't speak about. Like
Mhm.
it's like the whole Vegas thing. You know, Vegas is dirty, but no one really comes and talks about the secrets of Vegas. Same with Hollywood. But it's a beautiful to finally hear people in a good conscience finally come out instead of in bad circumstances where there's either death or somebody getting injured or something like that, for these stories to come out. And I'm liking that people are having confidence to come speak out against those or who oppress. And another thing that I really like that it's attacking people who are in high power. So it's like it's crumbling the people it needs to hit. You know what I'm talking about? If you get what I'm saying, like those people up there who feel like they're untouchable are being touched now, and it's been blood in the water, and I'm
They've been
enjoying it.
touching people for years.
The music industry is next. Oh man, it's
Oh, what?
I can't.
It's-
Woo! The stories is about to come out, man. You better get ready. I'm sitting back with my popcorn.
Just I mean, Russell Simmons, I'm sorry, just had to step down from all his companies. The music industry's already been touched.
And he
So
got
there's nobody that's safe. It's not just a TV thing, and that's the part that makes me happy about it, is because it's literally on every platform and in every walk of life.
yeah, somebody coming out.
I personally applaud it because it's long overdue, but the key to it is because it's not something that's gender specific. It's a statement of power. It's a statement of haves and have-nots and that perception, and people that think that they have leverage or they have some sort of entitlement to be able to function in a manner which goes against common decency simply because you feel that you have the authority or the title that enables you to do so. It's despicable. It's something that just about every human being on earth that's past the point of puberty has either witnessed or experienced. And I applaud everybody that has the bravery to come out and speak out against it, because there's no place for it. You can't sit and go back to the good old boy days of, oh, well, I can just hold this over your head, or I need you to play ball. If you want to get this, then you got to give me a little something and this, that, and the other. There's so many aspects of life that have been altered and changed because you've had people that have had to grin and bear it, or you've had people that manipulate that system and they can sleep their way to the top. It goes in both directions. It goes both on positive and negative sides, but it's a lot more encouraging for me personally, thinking about how the next generation gets to come up with a little bit more transparency and a little bit more confidence, knowing that you don't have to jump through those hoops. You don't have to go through those things to get ahead in life. You don't have to feel pressure to go through and act a certain way, or let someone act towards you a certain way in order to feel that that's the only way that you can get ahead. Let it be more on the merit of what it is that you can do and what you bring to the table.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's the one thing that I love about it. And I have, and let me make it plain and clear, I have absolutely zero remorse for anybody that's been targeted, affected, been proven to function outside of their boundaries, infringing on somebody else's personal boundaries, or using their power or their title or their authority or influence to try to seek out these kinds of favors and objectify and these people that they're supposed to be colleagues with in a point of industry, in a workplace setting. But you want to take it to another level, and you want to make it about what it is that you can get, how greedy you can be, how many notches you can get on your belt or on your bedpost. Fuck all that shit. If you got game, I mean, I'm my old school type of dude. If you got game and stuff like that, mouthpiece should be enough. You ain't got to take it.
Yeah.
You ain't got to catch no case for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. These people get besides themselves, because it's even the people that you would think that had got game just behind the scenes still get those sexual assault allegations. Like,
some sick bastards
back in
out
the
there.
day, like
yeah, for some of them it's just the thrill. It's just the thrill of actually doing it. It's not that they have to.
And
it's got allegations and stuff like that. There's women or men that'll throw it at them all day long, and they ain't got to try to take it. They ain't got to try to get it. And I mean, this goes back, and we can look in the sports world with the Darren Sharpers of the world. Darren Sharper looked like a fucking model out of a magazine. What you doing, Darren? What you raping girls for? You know what I'm saying? It's not like somebody was gonna tell him no. You know what I'm saying? He probably had girls lying all at his feet. But you got this dude in multiple states and multiple instances over years.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying? Those kind of situations. It's disgusting.
It just be crazy that it's just like the word no just really entices men to really just keep chasing. I mean, you can even take it to
They just
TV,
hit
like
the guy
Mark.
from hit the guy from that 70s show right now. He just got fired off his Netflix
he got
show.
fired off the ranch. I saw that.
Yeah.
The one he was the dude with the glasses with the curly hair. I can't remember his name, but yeah, they hitting him with sexual. It's gonna be a lot of stars coming out because
4 counts of rape he's been accused of.
y'all. I'm telling people, man, it's a dangerous slope, man. These
I
people
believe you.
walking a dangerous slope. Even those people that have come out and you think about it, you remember like the sexual assault allegations about the questions that used to be behind with Steve Harvey, with Martin, with a lot of these stars. I mean, it's crazy. It just, man, it's a sick world we live in because we justify sex and we love to promote it like it's
sex
Oh yeah,
sells
people
until
have,
somebody
people
get
have
raped.
gone through and they've made it a habit of making victims at fault. We've gone through and we've shamed the victims. Oh well, maybe you were presenting yourself the wrong way, or maybe you were
Yeah,
dressed too
dressed too
provocatively
bloody. Yeah.
and stupid shit like that. When at the core of it, now you're getting shocked because it's people that you never thought in a million years. Oh my God, I never thought that Kevin Spacey. Oh my God, no, not him, not
not
yeah,
him,
them.
not Mr. Underwood, not
Guys,
Frank Underwood.
Space.
you know what I'm saying?
Space Daddy.
Get your ass out of here.
Man, my man Marcus said that Empire is killing it right now, man. What they been doing that got you so
Ooh, man, I don't know what's going on with Empire. Either they kicked it up.
they doing their thing, bro?
Let me keep it simple.
Man, it's war. It's war, son.
It's war going on, and it's a beautiful thing that finally that okay. What the whole problem with Empire was everything became repetitive. It was the same thing. It's like
But those
Lucius,
storylines used to be wild.
it's like Lucius. It's like Lucius versus the family. Lucius versus the family. Here goes a outside minor threat. Beat them. Lucius against the family again. But now it's like
Chris Rock.
yeah, Chris Rock come in there, or I see they're so forgettable that I can't remember. But this thing that's so amazing is with Felicia Rashad and what's his name, Tay Diggs, is they have a family that combats against Empire. I mean, against
Man,
like
this
Cookie
is
and them.
Justice League versus the Injustice Gang. Straight
Exactly.
up,
It's just
like they got a team of all stars on another family that's battling they stars on their family, and I mean like head to head,
nice.
individual to individual, matchup for matchup. Like and
Pound for
Felicia
pound.
Rashad,
How many episodes has that family been?
Felicia Rashad is killing it.
Yeah, she killing it with a smile. I was like, at first when her character first got introduced, I said, man, Felicia Rashad gonna be here. She gonna piss
Claire
me
Huxtable
off.
ain't about that life. She can't do it.
Yeah, she gonna piss me off. She gonna be doing the shit that's over the top, and then slowly, it's like after every episode, it's like, damn, girl, you really did the damn thing. This
Straight
episode,
up mastermind. Straight
hey
up
man.
mastermind. This woman plays no games.
And then another thing that I like about this season is Cookie is finally getting a shine, and she's getting more, I guess, a center focus of the story. And you starting to really see that this show really operates behind her, and everybody else is just a player. Because
I always felt that way though. I always felt.
yeah, a lot of people thought
Well,
that.
yeah, the way that this season makes it different though is, you know, she was always there for the shock value. She's always gonna bring the drama. She was always gonna be, you know, that girl in front of the, you know, camera getting that spotlight and stuff like that.
The show.
But now you see her actually kind of fill into her role, not only as a matriarch for their family, but in the business world, functioning in their record company. She's starting to have more sway and influence, and she's starting to be more involved in the business aspects of everything that Empire has going on, which kind of increases the magnitude of her character. I like the fact that ironically it kind of tones her down a little bit, but it makes her stronger. And that's the part that's really cool about the dynamic for what they got going on this season. They are literally hitting home runs with like every episode that I've seen so far this season. And I've never been able to say that about Empire.
I agree, and then like go on what he said about Cookie is they really did tone her down because you know Cookie's known for being extra, have the flamboyant clothes and all this stuff, but she's toned down so much that she's like embodied like a boss, I mean,
she's a CEO. She looks and acts like a CEO.
She acts like a boss throughout every scene, every time she talks to somebody, the way she conducts herself. Like just the last episode, not trying to spoil anything, but how she brought together the people that were going on strike against them and just like dropping knowledge in these little nuggets. And she orchestrated all this. And it was just good to see that her character is shining. And a lot of these women and a lot of these TV shows are starting to stand out. And I've really been enjoying Empire this season. So it's been killing it. So for those of you who fell by the wayside in season 2 or season 3, Empire is back, and this is actually entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Well, Griffin, let's talk about the roller coaster ride that I feel you've been having with LeVar Ball. How do you feel about my man now? Because you know it was a time early in the year where you hated the guy. Then a time you said, "Man, let LeVar be LeVar," And now I feel like you starting to get back to that. You need to start shedding up, LeVar.
Man,
Crazy
he just talks to.
this is who he is, though. I mean,
This is okay. So the
he's
problem that I
he's
have.
been the same guy the whole year.
This is true. The thing I don't like two things. I don't like when people degrade him on like broadcasts or just say analysts or stuff like that, and they really be talking down on him. But this is the man.
You can get 10 to 15 minutes a segment just by talking about LeVar. That's
Exactly, because what they're really doing is really saying that this man is. They're basically saying this man is destroying his son's career right now because he's talking. No, your son was already gonna feel pressure. It may be elevated a little bit more, but who cares? He's still a rookie, so he can get it together. But the degrade this guy like he's just the reason why your son is playing bad, or he's the fall reason for everything. And LeVar Ball is this, that, and the third. This is a man who just talking about his son and just creating awareness of his brand and his son and what his sons can do. So I can't fault him for that. The thing I don't like about LeVar is he says the craziest shit at the most unopportune time. And that's the thing that blows my mind with him. The whole the whole interview that he did with CNN,
that was wild.
It was fine at first, where it was cool. He was just talking about, like, my son. He literally could have said, my son thanked the president. I don't see it. Like, I don't see why I have to thank him. Killed it at that. But when he keeps talking,
he dragged it on. He
keeps talking. It just be like, yo, you sounding worse than what you think.
Yeah.
And then the whole LiAngelo thing, he literally came out and said that UCLA was at wrong for suspending his son. He was already punished over in China, that he shouldn't have been punished twice over here. I said, bro, no, you don't do that.
Bro.
And then he took his son out of UCLA.
Just take suspension.
And said, I'm
not the kid of that, but he should just take the suspension, man.
Bro, he said, I'm ready to get my son ready for the NBA draft. Your son hasn't even got to develop none with the team that you said that he needed to go. That's the thing that blows my mind. Like, this is the school that you picked out, that you said that you wanted your son to go so he can develop, that he can go to the NBA.
All of them.
And what are you doing? I don't understand it. But me personally, hey, man, to float, teach his own. You do what you don't want to do. I just get tired of people talking about it.
Wilson, are you fed up with LeVar at this moment?
No, not at all, because I don't indulge in all the press clippings and all the stuff that people say and chatter about on TV. I've heard very little about LeVar other than the stuff that I wanted to hear about that was sports or business related. I don't know. I guess you can call it the Uncle Buzz factor or whatever you want, but the things you have to understand about me is this: as a 41-year-old man, I did not grow up in an era of Wi-Fi and streaming services and 24-hour-a-day news, yada yada yada. When I was a kid, none of that shit existed.
I had to read that paper the next day. He didn't know what to do.
I mean, but the blessing in that is I knew how to tune out and be selective about what it is that I interpreted. I didn't exist at a time when people were so desperate to report news and get ratings that they would literally report anything, regardless.
The 24-hour news cycle is real.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Now, for LeVar, for me, in a nutshell, hey, keep being the best dad that you can be. Your sons don't hate or despise you, so you got to be doing something right. Those are the things that I pay attention to when you go through and you have this young African American man that's taking care of his family and his kids and doing the best that he can to maximize their earning potential. I find it odd that people are going so hard at tearing him down. He's not doing anything illegal. He's not doing anything that's, outside of the boundaries. I remember when they did the same thing to Venus and Serena's dad. He was just too much. He was this and he was that.
Yeah, they ridiculed him.
At the end of the day, he was just being a dad protecting his girls, making sure that they maximize both their talent and their earning potential. So for me, I don't have any problems with LeVar. I mean, is there some things that he should probably do a little bit different, knowing the consequences that can come with it? Yeah, but I mean, that's with anybody. At the end of the day, is he still in folks' mouths? Is he still generating ratings? Are people still paying attention to him? Yeah. And as long as that happens, like it's been said time and time again, in that industry and the entertainment business and marketing and stuff like that, there's no such thing as bad press. There's no such thing as bad news. So, I mean, they're still helping him win because they keep making him, if you really didn't like this man, if you really don't want him to succeed, then just ignore him.
Exactly. And then another thing that I like to see, this is why this is why we love to have this podcast, because you pick up on things that I didn't pick up at first, and I like it how you laid out the foundation to say that this man hasn't really done anything, and they keep interviewing him. It's not like him going out to these outlets and saying, "Hey,
I mean,
come
you think this
talk."
dude was like a criminal or something, the way that they try to tear him down. You think that he's out there like starting fires and causing riots or something like that. I'm like, he's being a dad.
And the thing I can give him most credit for, and not really ridicule him about it, is when he's talking, he just seems like this is what the LeVar you would get if the cameras weren't there. Like if I came over their house and had like a cookout or something, it looks like LeVar will be.
That's genuine. That's
saying, I bet I can beat. I bet me and LiAngelo can beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. It looks like this dude would really say that stuff. So I think people take a little bit. The thing that I think people get mad at, and the thing that I now looking back, I can critique my own self about this, is I think we take whatever he says a little bit too literal and too hard, that we get affected by it, that it rubs us a little bit. But this is just a guy just talking. It's just like somebody who's talking shit to LeBron James on the sideline. These are people just talking, and this is just a guy just enjoying it and just talking. I don't think he means no harm and by anything he says, and I think we take it just to heart too much.
In addition to that, for me, I don't have any children of my own yet, but I mean, if you think for a single second that my kid is going to come up and tell me that he wants to play a particular sport and this, that, and the other and show some ability, if you think that I'm not about to say that my son is going to be better than whoever the greatest is in whatever sport he's playing, you're fucking crazy. I'm going to always encourage that dream for my children. I'm going to always foster that drive in them because there's nothing written in the rule book that says that he can't be the greatest.
That's true.
I mean, the only thing that I see, I haven't really seen a lot of tape on LiAngelo, not even really highlights, but I feel like this was the one son that probably needed 2 years of college. If not 3.
Well, I mean, you can still go through and do the Brandon Jennings option. He can go overseas and play for a couple of years, cut his teeth, come back, get drafted.
And that's the thing. I don't think he needs to go.
You ain't welcome overseas.
I don't think.
Do not come over.
I mean, in hindsight, we can say that, but I mean, just being practical, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You keep promoting your brand because you're not running into the NCAA rules about, if I want to give LiAngelo a shoe now I got 2 signature shoes to sell. You're still making money that way. The kid gets to make his own money by playing overseas and drawing a salary, which is actually U.S. tax free because he's not making his money over here, which maximizes his dollar and his earning potential. Ask Stephon Marbury, and you can still go through, get your heat up, get your resume, get your weight up, and stuff like that. Trust me, if you got enough talent, the NBA will come calling. They don't care who you are.
He'll be in somebody G League if not the opening day roster come next year.
If all these foreign imports that came down the pipe the last 8 to 10 years from overseas, that have been playing semi-pro and pro ball since they were 16, 17 years old, that have come through and been absolute busts in the NBA can get on, LiAngelo can get on.
Basically, you're saying LiAngelo is 3 dunks on somebody away from getting drafted into the NBA.
Pretty much.
That's all he needs is crossover.
See, these dudes get drafted. They average like 2 points, 1 assist, 4. I'm like, damn, this dude got drafted number 5 overall.
He won ankle break away from making it back into getting up in the NBA.
Who was the dude that got drafted? Who was the dude that got drafted top 5 same year as LeBron and Carmelo?
Ooh, Darko Milicic.
Oh
my goodness.
They showed his
stats. I had to look twice. I mean, he got a championship, but I mean that
don't count nothing.
Yeah, I mean, talking about for the ring, it's all good.
Scalabrine living off that championship. Never mind, let me take it back.
Scalabrine got a whole job. He
I mean, it's just one of those things. You got the Tony Parkers and Manu Ginobili's of the foreign world, and then you got the guy that y'all just mentioned. It goes both ways. It goes both extremes.
It does.
It's just a crapshoot. But I mean, at the end of the day, if the kid is marketable, if the kid is serviceable, and if he goes out there and he plies his trade well enough to where people take notice, he'll get on. Yeah, and it's easier to get on for 7 figures overseas than to get over for 40 or 50 grand in the G League.
He just gotta stop stealing. He can sell so many shoes if he just.
I mean, now that part is a personal issue. Hanging out with your boys and doing your thing.
Hopefully he learned, and that's what I think. He's just trying to stunt with his friends. That's how I feel about.
That's all it is. I don't think he's a terrible person. I
don't know him, but he looks like a good kid. It looked like LeVar raised his kids the right way. So like I said, I don't want to put too much on him, but I just hope he learned from his mistakes. I mean,
I've seen kids do worse. Bottom line,
I have.
People made a big issue out of it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I've seen kids do worse.
He got
I
caught.
always tell people all the time. I say we always, one incident away from getting, in jail or not. We just didn't get caught. I just didn't get caught. I know I've done terrible things. I ain't never stole
Rules
nothing,
was
but
different when I was growing up. Shit, the kids go to jail for and stuff like that. Now you get a phone call and sent to your mom and dad to get your
really,
ass beat back.
hey, we call Leangelo
It's
up
just a
here
different thing.
stealing.
And again, the funny thing about it is that we live in where Big Brother is so prevalent and social media dominates the landscape and everybody's so tuned in and plugged in, and you can find out stuff literally by the minute, by the second. It just changes the way that things are, and that changes perception of people and perception of actions as well. This would have happened 20 or 30 years ago before there was Facebook or Twitter or a Bleacher Report and stuff like that. I don't think the perception
Bro,
would be as
I
harsh.
never forget. I think it was August or July. I thought I had to wake up for work. My little alarm went off. Like, oh man, it's time to get up. Tony Romo decides to. I'm like, why is this coming in at 6 o'clock in the morning? Are you serious? Like, dude, I'm
Oh,
trying
you
to
know
sleep.
what? I'll give you a picture. I'll give you a picture perfect example. I'll give you a picture perfect example. It involves one of my favorite football teams, Florida State. Back in '99, Foot Locker scandal. They going through getting free stuff everywhere, stealing clothes and shoes because they got the hookups in the malls and stuff like that left and right. If that would have happened now, them
Boy, they
dudes
would
would have
have
got
had
crucified.
video.
They'd probably got kicked off the football team.
They would
They
have
probably
had
got kicked off the
video.
football. And I mean, this was Lavernius Coles and Peter Ward. These were two of their best players that
Yeah.
was involved in this whole thing. They'd have been kicked off the team. They may not have gotten drafted in the NFL. Dealing with today's standards with social media and the court of public opinion. Whereas back in '99, before it really, really got to be a thing for social media and stuff like that, it was, it's terrible. These criminals, they're thugs. We're going to suspend them for a couple of games. But kids will be kids. They had a hookup, whatever. We know how it is. I had a hookup back at Walgreens back in the day. It's all
Yeah,
good.
now it's you going to jail.
Yeah, oh, buddy got
10
kicked off the
years.
team for having a YouTube channel.
Like, bro,
God
come on,
damn.
dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. Man, Griffin, you was telling me about Hustle Gang, Sci-Hi, Davies, Project. You jamming some of that good music over there. Tell the people what's going on.
Yeah, let me press the mute button. This is not an old man topic. Let me.
Oh Lord, man. It's all good, man. It's just
let me let you young bucks have it for a minute. I'm gonna go get some of this money. Yeah.
Oh, dude, let me get some of this Kool-Aid in my refrigerator.
Some yak.
Let me get some of this. Some yak. What you got yak in the refrigerator for?
Miles and Eddie yak.
I'm about to go get some of this Zima. Zima real quick. Some of these Jolly Ranchers.
But yeah, it's some good music out there, honestly, man. Finally, we got Sci-Hi dropping his solo debut. Finally, after all these years, he's been put on. Been featured on a whole bunch of tracks. Me personally, one of my favorites is going to be "So Paul" on the Kanye West song. But "No Dope on Sunday" is honestly, you see the lyrical. He's always had the lyrical content. Now he has a production to finally back up his lyrics, and I think it's a flawless album. A lot of people are hailing it as one of the best albums of the year. Personally, I don't say it's the best album of the year, but if you give it a rating, it's like a 4.2 out of 5. It's pretty damn good. And I've only had to boot like maybe 3 songs, honestly.
Okay. 3 out of how many? With like 12, 15?
What?
What are you working with? Like, what's the track? What's the track size?
I think he got like 15, 16 tracks on it.
16? Hey, that's not a bad percentage. 3 out of.
Nah, it's really good. It's really good. If you know Sci-Hi, you know that he's known for battle rapping. He has bars, but just song structure with his problem with his mixtapes production, and he seems to solve its problem on this album, and I really enjoyed it. Another person that dropped is going to be my boy Dave East. He dropped a mixtape. I can't think of the name of it right now, but this is what the Dave East I wanted on his album. And I'm glad that he gave us, I think he had to do Jeff Jam a favor because that album kind of sounded a little studio. I mean, a little PC, but this is the Dave East that I wanted. And I love his production. I loved him partner up with DJ Drama, creating what I have to say is one of the best mixtapes that I heard in the past 3 years. So it's pretty up there to me. And you don't hear artists dropping free music like this nowadays. So he dropped an album basically for free. So, people need to go out there and enjoy it. And then Hustle Gang, I'm not a fan of T.I. of late, lyrically wise. For whatever reason, I haven't really been jamming his albums. I haven't really been connecting with him like how I used to with T.I.
I have to apologize for that. I don't know when last time I jammed the T.I. album.
That's what I'm saying. He has the talent, but his albums just haven't really done it for me. I guess it's just the musical
Like on
climate.
his albums, I skip half the songs. It's like, all right, nah.
Yeah, T.I. just has that sometimes. He just has those songs that you be like, but I guess him and Hustle Gang with him, Trey, and a lot of the people in this camp, I can't really give you names because I haven't really done my research on it. But Hustle Gang is basically his connect. Like there's TDE, then there's Good Music and stuff like that. It's his connect, and you have
So
to,
is
you know,
this T.I.'s version of DTP or what?
yeah, like
Yeah.
DTP.
That's exactly what it is.
And
Okay.
the thing I like about this album is you have Trey the Truth. If people don't know, he's
As long as he
VP
ain't
of.
got I-20, sorry ass, I think he'll be good.
Hey,
Shut
no,
your
I
mouth.
I-20 used to eat,
I-20
man.
was, I-20
Go
was fast, bro. Nah.
Go back and listen to "We Got Them Guns" on Chicken and Beer, and I
No,
promise you,
Phil Mob made that song though.
Phil Mob wasn't on that. No, Phil Mob wasn't on that because that's before Phil Mob was even signed to Disturbing the Peace. That was him, Chingy, I2O, and then it was somebody else they had. And I'm telling you, We Got Them Guns on Chicken and Beer. Go check it out. I-28 that hoe. I'm gotta give him some love on that. But back to this. The thing I liked about this is he really showcased a lot of his artist talents. From there's one guy who can sing and rap. He's pretty good. There's Young Dro that everybody knows. There's this female artist that he has that's really talented. On one of the songs, she really showcased a lot of her talent on the song called Friends. It's one of my favorite songs. They also have a song called Do No Wrong that was pretty good. And they also have B.O.B. I know everybody kind of forgot about B.O.B., but he's featured on this CD and he does a good job.
Yeah, I forgot about B.O.B.
A lot of people, everybody.
Don't do B.O.B. like that.
This is how bad it is. Who would have thought that Bruno Mars would become bigger than B.O.B. and he was just a nobody on that song?
Yeah, I'm about to say that. It's not that surprising.
It was surprising to me because I never saw this big of Bruno. Then back then I was like, oh well, he's a nice dude.
He's in a whole different pop culture.
Yeah, but he's killing it.
I mean, the only reason that I know that Bruno had a potential to be bigger is because Bruno is a pop guy.
Yeah,
that's true.
Exactly.
That's true. I wasn't thinking like that.
Once you get in that genre, it's a rap.
Yeah. Once you carve your way out in the pop realm, you're pretty much good.
And then he get told over to the soul realm. He been killing it on the R&B tip.
Well, the funny part about it is when you go through now in today's music and stuff like that, you can literally put a little bit of pop in every other genre of music. So if you hit in the pop lane, you pretty much are a hybrid artist, and you can make it in any other lane you want to go to.
That's true. That's true. And the last album I want everybody to check out, or it's not I don't know if it's an album or a mixtape. I think it's an album. Don't quote me on this because Jada and Fab was talking about streaming, and I don't think you stream mixtapes, so it's probably an album. But Freddie versus Jason, I think they've been talking and hyping this up for the past 2 years. But Jada and Fab finally dropped this album, and I have to say it's been pretty good. I mean, there's a few.
Are you talking about the Fab and Jada collabo album?
Yeah, Freddie versus Jason.
Yeah, that's an album. Homie.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. There's a few tracks that I feel like are dated just by their production wise. The lyrics are never. Yeah, the lyrics are never missing with Fab and Jada, but there's a couple 2 songs that sounded
Fab
like
always had bars though. Jada too, but not like Fab.
Is what both of them, honestly, both of them criminally underrated. But this is the type of studio album that I have to say that is what a lot of older people needed to hear, because it was an old school album, and it's not like how Future and Drake did they stuff, or whoever nowadays, probably 21 Savage and Offset. Like I just mail you my.
This album is good for us, as you like to say, old folks, because of the simple fact that it brings us back to the hip hop that we always naturally enjoyed and loved for the time that we were y'all's age. That's why when the Lox dropped their last album, us old folks went absolutely nuts over it, because it sounded like an old school Bad Boy Lox album from like '98.
Yeah, and the thing about this album that I always want to give credit to is the way that they crafted this album, just how an album is supposed to be made. There wasn't no mailing of the samples or mailing over the lyrics or something like that. They actually got into the studio together, and you can tell that it felt coherent. And the thing I like about this was you didn't get CD radio friendly Fab. You got Fab on how we like, on how he really be spitting. We got that Fab on mixtape Fab, and then you also get Jada, who's not talking like killer talk like I used to, but he's more mature in his lyrics, and it shows. And you kind of go back and you think to yourself that Jada was really criminally underrated, and he might have been the second or third best thing to come under the Diddy camp, because listening to his bars that he dropped on this album, you said, damn, Jada really had that fire, and I had to go back and check out some old stuff of him. So I want to give him a lot of credit on this
Well, I
album.
mean, outside of Biggie, outside of Biggie, name the bad boy rapper that was better than Jada.
Some people put Mace up there because I feel like Mace is criminally underrated.
I said name the bad boy rapper. Now he's gotten himself some cred with this recent diss album. He brought some stuff out that I ain't know he had in him.
But this is the thing about
overall.
Okay, so I'm gonna flip it like this because this is something I learned today that I had to go back and listen to. So when Jada and Fab was doing their interview on Breakfast Club, Jada was always saying that Mace wanted to be fluff. So basically was like this. Mace had the lyrical content to go toe to toe with anybody, kind of how we had Drake when he first came out. But Mace always told everybody, but when I get famous, I'm gonna turn into this, pop duo. Like I'm known for singles, like how Drake is right now. So Mace was like the modern day Drake back then, and he knew that. But he always knew the bars was here, and I didn't know that, and I had to go back and listen to. And
don't get me wrong, Mace is an awesome rapper, and even with the fluff stuff that he did and stuff like that, if you just listen to the lyrics that he's dropping, I mean, he can seriously flow. Yeah. That's never a question. It's just that for a lot of folks, and especially when you came up in that time period and stuff like that,
with D-Block and all
that, we kind of felt bad because, in my opinion, I know a lot of people share my opinion. Like, to me, the Lox were like criminally undermarketed. They should have been a lot bigger as a group than what they were.
Yeah.
Especially for the time period. And
Styles P was killing back then.
That's one of those things where, like, literally they could have almost done it Wu-Tang style and popped out a group album. Then they could have all went to high commercial success with the right marketing as solo artists, and could have came back and done more stuff as the Lox. Like, they could have killed it all the way around if they had the right people behind them like that. But there were other interests that took priority at Bad Boy for whatever reason, and they really just didn't get that push like that.
The thing that I really loved about them was Eve, when they did the Rough Rider, and when Eve blew up and got her Grammy, it got more attention to them as. Because it's like they were slept on mainstream. So when they finally had somebody to go mainstream, it brought more attention to them. So people finally got to go back and listen. That's how I did, because it took for Eve to blow up for me to go back and check out Rough Rider, because I was so busy checking out everything else, plus enjoying my fluff music, because I was like 13 and 12. So I was dipping dabbing in other genres. So, but it is what it is, and I really like all these albums that came out. Personally, if I want to line them up and say my favorite is going to be Sci-Hi, followed by Dave East, tied with Fab and Jada. And then if you just want to kick the shit, just listen to something. That Hustle Game is really entertaining. So
good deal, man. Can somebody tell me who got on 2K and edited KD's toughness rating? Because this dude has been
what toughness rating? What toughness rating?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Toughness. Hey, this toughness should be like a negative.
This is Twitter KD right about
now.
What was he gonna do?
Coming out. Twitter KD.
What was he gonna do with Boogie?
Twitter KD is coming out.
Get that ass.
We don't know this. KD been wilding out ever since the summer, because it's been a little offness in him. KD got them kung fu skills on deck. I think he was gonna hit that man with the 2-piece chicken and wings and drop Boogie Cousins, and I think he had that confidence, man.
KD still about 210.
You show right there.
You know what? Let me just say this. You got confidence, KD. All right, cool. You got your swag up. You got your chest puffed out.
KD.
Whatever. That's great. That's cool. But always remember the rules of the streets, and always remember these old parables. I have seen a million super duper confident dudes get their ass knocked smooth out. Confidence ain't got shit to do with shit. If you can do it, you can do it. If you can't, stay in your lane. Some of the funniest things to me, period, is the fact that I've never believed, other than the Malice at the Palace and then shit like from when I was a little kid, I've never believed in basketball players fighting.
Nah.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it.
Chris
back in the day,
yeah.
if you're talking about like, Malice at the Palace dudes, the Ben Wallaces, the Ron Artest, the Matt Barnes,
The Rough
folks
Riders
like
of the
the
NBA.
Stacey Augmans, folks like, the Charles Oakleys, you go back in the day, Dr. J and
Oh,
MJ to a certain extent, and
that's
Magic and Bird,
about
and
that
them,
action all stars right there.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? They was about that life. Like,
Yeah.
they wasn't doing it for the gram or doing it for the likes. You
They
gonna
was doing it
respect
to
me,
kick
I'm gonna
your
make you
ass.
respect me type thing. Nowadays, these dudes, no, bro, I gotta protect my brand. I gotta, yeah. We knew you wasn't about that life.
They only cut up when they teammates around. It's like once they get you grabbing me, all right, let me get at them.
KD didn't even have his hands up, dog. He wasn't trying to square with Boogie, dog. They was holding him back. He was holding his
How do you
shoulders like,
going you
hold me
about
back,
that
bro.
life and you going
Hold me
face
back,
first
bro.
into a fight? Who does
me
that?
back,
How do you
bro.
go face first into a fight?
Man, KD can't talk. Man, KD can't step to me until he brush his hair, dog.
Oh,
If you are walking up saying that you are about to fight and you're leading chin first, you are hustling backwards.
Maybe KD just don't give a fuck. That's why that head been looking so BDB. That baby KD has got them hands and he just don't give a fuck.
no, I think him and Draymond had switched water bottles, so I think he took a little sip.
Something.
He took a little sip.
The Monstars switch their abilities or something. I don't know what that is.
Draymond went to the water bottle. I knew I had a full bottle.
Nigga, you sipped the wrong bottle, son. This is my hype juice, not yours.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, but
which one of you motherfuckers took my juice packets?
The Warriors are bored, man. They just look like they're creating drama just to fucking create drama because they're bored.
You think it's gonna be something temporary? His leg looked like a golf ball.
Oh man, his shit looks bad, man.
God.
But once again, it's like, oh, woe is me. I guess I wish I had another fucking all-star. There goes another all-star right across.
Here comes Klay Thompson with 10 extra shots in the game.
Really? Here you go. Klay Thompson is now averaging 27 points a game over the stretch of Curry's been out. It's like, I'm not really worried about it. It is what it is. They'll maybe lose 2 or 3 games to spice it up a little bit to really entertain the masses. Like, oh shit, something wrong with the Warriors. And then they'll just bounce back. It is what it is. Everybody not name the Warriors. I mean, it is what it is.
No, I feel you 100%. But then my man Wilson, he had a little celebration going on today. Got that boy Willie Taggart.
The FSU Florida boys out.
I even threw the fight song on just so he can feel like he over there chomping right now. Let me cut this shit off.
You know what, man? You know what, and I appreciate that, but for me personally, as a 30-year plus Florida State fan, this is new ground for me for a few reasons. Yeah, started out in '86, baby. Florida versus Florida State. First game I ever saw. Deion Sanders, number 2. The reason why my favorite number is 2.
Hey, shout it out.
But this is the first time literally since I've been alive that Florida State has actually had to do an open coaching search, because they've never not had a head coach in place since 1976 when Bobby Bowden first got hired. So this is something new and unique for an entire generation of Florida State fans. B, there's somebody that's heading up the program, and I'm not going to be ashamed to say it, that looks like me, that's actually the same age as me. Willie Taggart is a young man, a young up-and-coming prospect with a very good mind for the offensive side of the ball. He is arguably one of the top 3 recruiters in the state of Florida. So in an awkward way, people are going to find out Florida State's recruiting class is probably actually going to get better now that he got hired. They got him on the cheap, 6 years, $30 million, which is roughly half of what Texas A&M sold their souls for to give Jimbo Fisher.
Garbage.
I like it all the way around. The guy's adaptable. He's shown to be able to go into places and type of coach this the square peg into the round hole. I'm gonna force you to join into my system. He's adapted everywhere he's gone to the athletes that he's had to work with. I've seen him run everything from damn near a veer offense to a standard pro set to an all-out air raid spread attack, and he's had success with all of them. He's a very, very interesting guy to see from an X's and O's standpoint with the way that he goes through and handles his athletes. And the best part about it is what every college fan wants for any of their teams is the fact that I'm a Florida State fan and this is his dream job. So he's going to give it 110% as far as keeping them where they are and taking them to the next level. So I think that it's outstanding for Florida State. all the way around. That was their number one prospect that they were looking for once Jimbo left. And I think that it's going to really, really loom large for them in the upcoming years. I think it's going to make things fun with the resurgence of Miami, seeing how things shake out with Florida now, with them changing coaching styles. And not only that, but now you got to deal with the Southern Floridas. You got to deal with the Central Floridas. You got to deal with the FAUs as long as Lane Kiffin is there. It's going to be really, really competitive in the state of Florida for college football for the next few years.
College football in general is on point, man. I've never been this excited about college football in a long time.
Oh, it's fun, man. This playoff is going to be very interesting.
Oh, playoffs going to be off the chain. That Clemson Alabama part 3 first round, like, I love it. I'm here.
I almost hate the fact that it's a first round game.
I'm cool with it. I'm fine with it. Let them beat up on each other for our welfare on January 1st. We be all right. That's gonna be a hell of a day right there. But man, my man Griff, he was a little frustrated with the Eagles talking about where they bounce back. Man, they gonna bounce back. Come on, man. Don't give them too much.
Who struggled with the Eagles? Me?
If it wasn't for that little fumble, that would have been a whole different game, and he missed out.
Here's the problem that I have. Here's the problem that I have.
The lateral passes.
I'm about to call Griff to the carpet with this. Here's the problem that I have. I have a problem with all these Eagles fans trying to save face, talking about, oh, well, y'all know we lost on purpose because we don't want Dallas to get into the playoffs.
Y'all did. We did.
I don't buy it.
I told you. I believe I had a conversation.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I got my receipts. I'm sending it back.
Dougie P called me literally 30 minutes Dougie the game.
Are you serious? Dougie P is official.
He called me right before 30 minutes before the game.
Bro,
like, Marcus, let all the Cowboys fans let them know that we not letting them in the playoffs. We gonna lose this game. I said, bro, I don't think you have to watch this game. I'm about to go to my mama's house. Have a good one.
Dougie P hit up Griff, y'all, and said, hey, don't sweat the small stuff, baby. We about to go on, we're gonna roll around. We're gonna take this L. Vegas didn't want us to get this anyway.
Look, I was watching the game, and then when we didn't challenge that lateral pass that was clearly behind Russell Wilson, I said, okay, that's Dougie P saying, we out this game. We done with this game. Because he could have challenged that play.
Hey, man, it's a typical
that play went to a touchdown.
That was my upset special for the weekend because there's just certain things that it's a mark of actually a compliment to great teams. You never want to go in being that 15-1 team. It doesn't really work out too good for most 15-1 teams historically in the NFL when they get to the playoffs. You need another loss to kind of get you back on your bearings, kind of knock you down a little bit and realign your focus. So that's not that big of a deal. Number two, there's no shame in losing to the 12 man in Seattle. It's gotten plenty of teams. And it was just set up that way because everybody literally was counting Seattle out. And I'm like, wait a minute, they're playing in Seattle.
Yeah,
if it was in Philadelphia, it'd be different. But they were playing in Seattle. That's automatically a coast-to-coast trip, and that's a hell of a road trip to make in and of itself. But Seattle, as we know historically, since they've been Seattle under Pete Carroll, they are night and day different when they play at home as opposed to when they play on the road. And they played outside their minds. They put up a great effort. They had a great defensive scheme going in against Winston, the guys on offense, and they pulled out the win. Philly will be just fine. Philly will be A-OK.
They'll be fine. And on top of that, you had Ertz go down. You got the little.
Now that's pissing me off because I got fantasy playoffs coming up. You need to get on with Dougie P and
guess what? Tell him to get Zach right. Both leagues that I have Ertz, I have a what? Bye. Thank you. And guess who he plays when he goes back? When he comes back,
just being selfish.
The Giants.
Now you're being selfish.
Guess who being selfish. Guess who play when he come back? The Giants. The Giants. A healthy Ertz against
y'all down. Giants locking y'all down. Eli throwing for 400 on y'all.
Let me tell you right now, the Giants defense hasn't stopped not one tight end this year, and I'm gonna love it when Ertz get them points. And watch Trey Burke fuck around and get like 75 yards and 2 touchdowns and piss me off.
Gonna eat. Burton gonna
got him.
But also to talk about the Eagles, man. The Seattle Seahawks got up for this game, man. There was literally 3 plays that you could look at and say that the Eagles kind of they could have took advantage of that, and the game would have been different. But once again, Russell Wilson playing, when his back's against the wall. Once again, that guy is the leader of that. Yeah, he's the leader of that franchise. And once again, shout out to Pete Carroll for drafting him, taking a chance on Russell Wilson. Because once again, I thought that was going to be Matt Flynn's team. Is it Matt Flynn?
Yeah,
Who was it?
you had it
Yeah,
right.
Matt
Matt
Flynn. I
Flynn.
thought it was gonna be Matt Flynn's team, and then Russell came and proved what that he's a legit quarterback, and I like it.
6 touchdowns can get you.
Yeah,
Crazy.
hey,
Oh
and he
yeah.
can get you
Oh
paid.
yeah.
He can get you
Get you
stupid
paid,
paid.
baby.
And I mean, at the end of the day, for people that are looking at it with eyes wide open and stuff like that, there was more at stake for Seattle in this game than Philadelphia, because Philadelphia
Exactly.
ain't fighting for their playoff lives. Seattle is. Seattle's
Mhm.
trying to maintain pace and stay ahead because the some of the teams that are behind them in that wild card race actually own tiebreakers over them. So they have to stay above on the win-loss record to kind of keep their playoff hopes alive. So yeah, it was more of a must-win situation for Seattle than it was for Philadelphia.
And
Philly will be fine.
let's go ahead and bow down to Russell, Mr. Wilson. I mean, not Russell, Mr. Wilson over there, Mr. Marcus Wilson, and his shout out to the coach of the year who deserves it, Mr. Zimmer, #1 team in the
Hey
league.
man, it's painful for me because I'm a diehard. I bleed sharp cheddar. As a cheesehead, it's hard for me to give props, but away from the magnitude of what Mike Zimmer has done as a head coach for the Vikings this season, man, it is incredible that they can not only overcome the injury situations on offense and defense to a certain extent that they have, but to still not only seem to function okay, but they've actually gotten a little bit more efficient coming down the stretch. The running back by committee is working out well for them. Case Keenum has been rejuvenated. He's got more focus.
He
So
looks like an MVP candidate. If he
yeah,
did play like
he's a legit dark horse MVP candidate, and the resurgence of an Adam Thielen and continuing that success and knowing where your bread is buttered on, because between Thielen and Rudolph, they're crushing it.
yeah, they're killing it. And
Anybody that
Stephon
plays
Diggs
fantasy
ain't get it
football
going.
knows. And
And Diggs is
that's
not
the
really
scary
killing.
part to it, is the fact that at some point the light is going to come back on for Stephon Diggs, and then you're really going to have problems.
Yeah, and then
Like, they're still not functioning at 100% capacity offensively. We still haven't seen them best offensively, and that's scary because the way that their defense is performing. Shouts out to the guy that doesn't get enough credit, who's actually made strides this year, in Trey Waynes. He gets overshadowed a lot by Xavier Rhodes, and rightfully so, because for my money, Xavier Rhodes is the best man-to-man corner in the NFL right now.
Because what happened to
There's
Julio?
nobody.
Who?
Man,
Julio was disappearing.
Xavier is that prime example of what they talk about when they say prototype DB, because he has the size, he has the length, he has the ball skill, he has the inline speed and the quickness to literally cover anybody.
Let me ask y'all a question. Did y'all see the latest episode of Gridiron Game?
Yes.
When the cameraman was like, Xavier Rhodes, get out the way, you're covering up Julio. I know I'm the best.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
They did Alex Smith so wrong on that.
Oh, they did. Alex Smith was way back there. Hey, that was a good episode. But yeah,
That
man.
was funny. That was funny, man. But man, with the fantasy playoffs here, what are 3 players that you guys feel could be on some championship fantasy rosters?
I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go one position because there's 3 wide receivers that I like to just give a shout out to. That a lot of teams. I mean, a lot of these players should be on a lot of teams, and that's Antonio Brown, because he's been the most consistent #1 draft pick or first rounder or whatever he is this year, and I'm pretty sure he's on a lot of people team who drafted him. On top of that, Keenan Allen. A lot of people that trusted in Keenan Allen and that kind of read the wave of Keenan
Just
Allen.
look at his roster and just
Oh no! I'm not just looking at my roster.
You
I'm
stop
not just
it.
looking at my roster.
Stop it.
just go look at his roster.
No, the reason I'm giving Keenan Allen love is because he has the hot schedule, playoff schedule. I know those players that fantasy players that are really toned in for the championship, that really had it going in stride, took advantage of getting Keenan Allen in a trade or something like that when he was playing bad, and I know it's panning out for him right now. And then another player that is going to be on a lot of championship teams is one Josh Gordon. The only reason why I say he was going to be on a lot of people championship team is because a lot of those people sitting at first, second, or third took advantage of knowing Josh Gordon is going to come back, and they just probably just stashed him on the bench, just picked him up when they heard that he may get reactive, like I did, and he's been looking good, 11 targets.
No, you can't beat that. What you got, Wilson?
For me,
Kamara.
I'll go outside of the wide receiver position since he covered it pretty good. I'll say at quarterback out for our previous sleeper option, which would be McCown from the Jets,
Killing it.
who's putting up ridiculous numbers, has himself to the point where I believe he has what, 2 top 15 fantasy receivers
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah.
Who would have said that shit
Yeah.
about the
Who?
Jets?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You go through with that. Dark horse to look out for out this weekend. Aaron Rodgers will be eligible week 15. For a lot of people, that would be their second round of the playoffs. If you got him stashed on your IR, or if somebody let him go on the waiver wire, I mean, hey, it's worth the pickup. At running back, of course, I'm going to go with my guy that I called my shot on before the season started, and that would be the incredible talents of Alvin Kamara for the Saints, who, for me, and I have to do my research for it, in my opinion, is one half of the best fantasy football handcuff, arguably in the last 15 years.
Not named Fred Jackson.
Anybody that was a homer, anybody that was a homer this season, that was a Saints fan or whatever, and they said, you know what, I'm gonna pick up Ingram and Kamara. Boy, you are probably destroying folks in your fantasy league.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
They are demolishing fantasy numbers right now, and it's the perfect system because, as we all discussed off podcast before, Kamara's got 600 yards rushing. He don't even have 100 carries yet, does he?
Nope. He's at like 82. He has like 606 catches.
You combine the fact that he's got 600 and 600, both rushing and receiving, and he doesn't even have a total of 160 touches yet. Means that Ingram goes through and he gets all his touches as well. So basically, for what we would perceive from a fantasy standpoint as part-time touches between both of these backs, they're giving you full-time stats and fantasy numbers, and that's an extreme rarity in today's fantasy football.
And what's crazy about it is Mark Ingram is the number 4 running back on the season.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you're getting full game, full touch production out of these guys from a fantasy standpoint, but they're only getting half the touches that a lot of backs are actually getting. That's insane to me. Dark horse sleeper at the running back spot for fantasy championship teams. I will be a homer. Look for Jamal Williams down the stretch. He's impressed a lot of folks with his power running. His yards after contact is actually one of those things that's really impressive. And even though Aaron Jones is back, I think that gives Green Bay even more confidence to use that thunder and lightning role. So if there's some folks that actually have that handcuff, I can see you guys having good success with that going down the stretch, especially in the next few games.
I wonder who had Jamal Williams on their team.
That would be me in quite a few. And for folks that play in standard leagues, for folks that play in standard leagues, I will throw out championship defenses. Really can't go wrong with any combination of Minnesota, Jacksonville, and for their ability to turn over the ball that's been really kind of slept on because their teams look so shitty and up and down this year. But the Ravens defense can carry you to a championship. They lead the league in interceptions. They lead the league in interceptions. They turn over the ball actually a lot more than people think. They just get
but they lost Jimmy.
And
there was a stat being read that I looked up somewhere that when the Ravens do not have Jimmy Smith, quarterbacks have averaged like 330 yards passing in like 2 touchdowns. So
one Benjamin Roethlisberger had 6 touchdown passes again.
I know, and that's what I'm scared about with the Ravens defense.
How many interceptions did Jimmy Smith have? 20?
I don't know how many he has, honestly. I just know he's a big
20?
factor on.
That's a big boy.
Does he have 20?
I don't believe so.
Because the Ravens as a team have 20, so that's more than Jimmy Smith. So I'll still ride with them as a team defense. They still pressure the quarterback. They still get sacks. They still turn over the ball.
Well, guess what?
They can give up all the yards passing they want. I'm not concerned about that. I just need them turnovers and points.
I'm just saying that's just a huge thing, and that's the thing I'm gonna be
I don't
looking
like the
for. 'Cause
Ravens. They punked out my team in Lambeau in a shutout. I don't like them punks.
And then another team that a
If
lot of
they ever
people
win
should take
another
a
game,
another team that people should take a look at it. The team defense is the Chargers defense. They are fighting
Oh
for a
my
divisional.
God.
They are
Oh
fighting
my
for the
God.
divisional lead, and this is who they play: the Jets, Oakland, Kansas City, and Washington. And guess what? Washington's offensive
Oh
line
my
is banged
God.
up. That pass rush is killing it for Washington, and that secondary is on fire. Let's go, Chargers!
DeMarcus, I thought in the pregame
I can't.
discussion that we
I,
already had said
Fill
that.
up,
this
fill
fool
up,
is
Allowed.
barking
fill up.
in the background. Do you hear this?
Exactly. Show me your supercharge. Show me your lightning bolt. Ain't nobody got time for this. Ain't nobody got time.
What's that?
Rivers,
Shazam!
Rivers is about the Rivers. They about to go on this 4-game losing streak. Waters,
Hey, nah, cause guess what?
guys.
Hey, don't sleep on the Chargers.
They gonna lose to
Hey,
Kansas
don't
City,
sleep on the
Oakland,
Chargers.
and Washington coming down the
Oh
stretch.
man, if we lose to all four of those teams, man, this is about to be the most bullshit. Because we started on.
what to say.
I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be really pissed because it's just like Chargers fashion to fuck it up some type of way.
Why would you expect the Chargers to not be the Chargers?
Right? Exactly. But hey, man, fill up, Keenan. Let's get it.
That's what's up, man. A couple of players that I threw out there. I think Jameis Winston may be on a couple of teams. Honestly, I like his schedule going down. And my boy, what's the other quarterback that I like?
What's his health like?
Oh, no.
Because I know he took a nasty ankle roll in that Green Bay game.
Blake Bortles got a nice schedule coming up too.
he
Like
looked
these are some disgusting names, but these are some quarterbacks. That
But it's all about matchups at this point. This
Yeah,
playoffs,
that's-
it's all about matchups at this point.
Matchup time. So when you talk about those two matchups, I like that. I like Rex Burkhead. Honestly, if Collins is hurt, I think Woodhead will be taking over in
Woodhead
the
should take
backfield.
over.
Yeah,
The
I
couple
mean, he
receivers-
got nobody else.
Yeah, receivers
They
that I
say
got
Buck
down
back
would be Marquise Goodwin. I think the reporter he got with
Man.
Buffalo looks good. I think pissed off Eli is going to help out Sterling Shepard going down the.
Shouts
Going
out
down
to
the
Sterling Shepard. Congratulations on your engagement, bro. Saw it on the Instagram. Congrats.
Hey, shout out to
And-
good one from I believe I dropped you in a little hot segment back in a couple of weeks ago. I thought you had a very
The
lovely
talent-
schedule.
I
talent was
still
there,
got you,
It's the
Marquise.
quarterback now. It's the quarterback now.
Yeah,
It's the
Garoppolo
quarterback,
gonna
but
make him
even,
work.
hey, guess what? Even when they had trash, whatever his name was,
But
that
the
I
thing
just
is,
forgot.
with a different quarterback, he goes from receiver 3 to receiver 2 easy.
That's what, and I love it. And I love it that Pierre Garçon went
Huge
down. I also like that Pierre Garçon went down, so all the targets went to him. So I love it.
Oh, can I ask y'all a question real quick?
Huh?
This is something that's just been on my mind because I own him in several leagues, but I'm starting to come to the realization, and this is one of those real world versus fantasy type things. Love the success that they're having as a team and stuff like that, but is it time to officially acknowledge the fact that with this all-star handcuff and the way that their team has been playing, that Drew Brees is a QB2 now and not a QB1?
He's not an auto start. I know that for sure.
Nah, he's not. He's not at all. He's matchup
And I never
dependent.
thought that the day would come that I would say that because he's been so money for so long in fantasy football. But
The thing
honestly,
is,
right
he
now
can
with the way that they're
still- he
doing
can
it,
still get out there and throw that pill if they need him.
oh no.
Those
And it's
run-
not an indictment of him throwing it, but it's just the fact that they're so efficient with the mix of run and pass
Yeah,
that
so
his numbers are just in that high QB2 and not necessarily that top tier QB1 anymore.
he's
Yeah.
more Dalton right now than.
Don't say
And
that.
then-
Don't
Oh,
ever
he's
do
better
that.
than Dalton.
Don't ever do that. Don't you ever do that. Don't
Hey,
you ever
man,
disrespect them like that.
The
I
numbers
know
are-
they're both from Texas, but don't do that.
He don't have
Don't
them
do
interceptions like Dalton. He throws.
All right, Dalton got 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Breeze got 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I mean, come
Drew
on now.
Brees is a saint. Don't you ever blast.
Yeah, you
Call
watch
him
your
like
mouth.
that.
I'm just
if he
saying,
go New Orleans bounce his shit up.
Y'all don't
your
want to hear the
ass,
truth.
nigga.
It's the truth. He's Dalton right now. Because
You don't want to hear the truth. You keep talking about
Stat-wise.
Pittsburgh going to the Super
Oh,
Bowl.
well, that's just the facts, B. You already
Oh,
Man,
Lord, let's
bruh.
continue. Let's
Got
continue.
Folks
got
get
the
caught up in the
color
lies
rush
every
jersey.
day, B.
Nah, Griff, don't sit up here and give me this lackluster. When you just rooted and roofed.
Steelers ain't, even
George.
Steelers ain't even the best team in the state of Pennsylvania, and you over here talking about Super Bowl.
They are. They not second in a conference like the other Pennsylvania team. But I mean, that's
Ooh, so disrespectful. So disrespectful.
And the last person I wanted to say, sleeper tight end if you do need one, who just had a career high in catches and yards, is going to be Steven Anderson with CJ Fedora's going on IR. So if he's out there, you need another tight end with Ertz down. That's the guy right there to get.
Let's get it. Let's go.
He's locked in. But guys,
hey, Ricky Seals too. Ricky Seals Jones, man.
Ricky Seals
leading
Jones.
second in receptions, and man, it's a lot of good tight ends this week with a lot of good matchups.
It's still gonna be Russian roulette. Like either way,
you can literally. It's like betting a lotto.
Yeah. Man, let's do a little flashback on how you guys feel that the fantasy season went for you this year. How you guys feeling?
I will have to apologize because with Marcus talking about Drew Brees, or Marcus and DeMarcus us talking about Drew Brees and how he's now QB2, that's the only reason why Michael Thomas took a dip. I did expect for Drew Brees to be slanging that rock like he's known to do.
In PPR,
Alvin Kamara has a big.
he's a big reason
because he's taking a whole lot of receptions away from Michael Thomas.
Exactly. He's taking at least. He's still getting the targets, but Michael Thomas doesn't get the red zone touches.
He still got 75 catches. He just don't got the yards.
He didn't got the yardage, and he doesn't have the touchdowns. But
he's catching a lot of slants and bubble screens.
He'll be all right. He'll be all right. But the only person I have to say is, that's why I preach to everybody all the time. I hate it when people say, when I listen to the radio and stuff like that, about players that when people call in and read out their fantasy team and say, oh, I lost this player, I lost that player, I had this bum on my team, I had this bum on my team. Work the waiver wire, work your trades. In every league where I drafted shitty ass Terrell Pryor, who bust a lot of my teams, I'm still going to the playoffs because I was able to package him with players, make moves. I literally in one league flipped Terrell Pryor and Kirk Cousins for Michael Thomas and Carson Wentz because somebody didn't believe in it. It's just like you can make moves if you can just package up the right thing, the right person get hot. You can really sucker people into good conversation and stuff like that. You can really make it. And I'm gotta say, I lost. And what's the lead that we in? I lost David Johnson, Allen Robinson, Chris Carson, Davin Cook. Like, my team was taking hits left and right. Guess what? Still making the playoffs. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes,
work your waiver wire and make trades. Don't be stale. Don't be stale.
That's it. Man,
I completely agree.
Do it seem like Brandon Cooks is like the number 8 receiver in fantasy? Do it seem like?
Yeah, it does, because I had to go back and look.
Does it ever seem like any New England Patriots receiver not named Randy Moss is ever a top 10 receiver when it's all said and done? They just kind of sneaky like that. They just kind of sneak. They like, you really have to like really be paying attention to their stats to be like, because like the only obvious candidates that you've ever seen in the Patriots in the last 15 years is Randy Moss and Gronk. That's it. Their numbers stand out because they're gaudy and they always put it out there.
If I were to read the list of the top 20 wide receivers, they all make sense. The only person that does not make sense is when you hear Marvin Jones is the number 6 wide receiver. That shocks a lot of people. And the fact that Mike Evans is not in the top 20 is another thing that shocks people. Those are two shocking things that I look at when I look at the list.
I think the two
but
that
those
really
don't surprise me looking at the way that the season is going.
But look at how the season goes. No one thought that Marvin Jones was going to do Marvin Jones thing. It was kind of
no. Now before the season, these rankings are totally out of whack compared to what we thought they were going to be before the season actually started. Oh yeah, it's like an almost 180-degree flip.
Robbie Anderson,
I believe Larry Fitzgerald is like number 4, and I think this dude only got one game with less than 8 points. Oh no,
Larry is 11. Get it right, sir. Larry is 11.
No, in PPR.
Oh, in PPR, I don't know. This is standard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In PPR, he's number 4.
In PPR, he's top 5. Easy.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, he's number 4. And I think the other guy that kind of surprised me running back wise is Carlos Hyde. He's sneakily at like number 11, taking over for Frank Gore.
He didn't surprise anybody.
I didn't see him.
We talked about him before the season started. Told you Carlos was going to get it. It was just by default.
That's what I said. It's by default. He gets those receptions.
And I think
it was by default. They really didn't have anywhere else to turn to with that running game.
And he's another guy who has 9 or more points in every game except one where he got 2.8. So, man, the consistency, that's what's kind of killing, because he had a lot of stinkers last year. A lot of stinkers. He just really let your team down. This year, he didn't kill no. He didn't.
He was hurt. He was hurt a lot last year. Also, that injury was a big.
That was a big part.
He kind of did what Lamar Miller did last year. You know how Lamar Miller, he wasn't great, but he gave you 10 points. That was Carlos Hyde did.
They're efficient. They didn't shit your team.
Yeah, Yeah,
They didn't. They
Yeah,
didn't.
they
They
did.
didn't
They
put
did
that.
just enough that you didn't get mad at them for tanking for you, but yeah, they didn't like set the world on fire. But it was like, oh shit, he got me 10. Good looking out, Lamar. All right.
well, yeah, man, I'm pretty satisfied with my year overall. I mean, I can't complain. I think I'm gonna make the playoffs in every league. I mean, I still got a couple victories. I gotta have this week, but I think I'm gonna make it in every league. So if
I'm
I go
making
7,
it in 12 out of 15 leagues, so I can't complain either.
you got one bullshit one. That's fucked up, man. .3 though.
I'm gonna
It's
tell
all
you right
good,
now. I
man. I mean,
want.
it's just the way that it happened. It's all.
Hey man, I'm a good 9 for 9 this year, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good and feeling great.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, man, like I said, me and Wilson, we gonna have a little 2-week battle where I got to put up with Kamara,
Yay,
and then the return of Aaron Rodgers at like the Royal Rumble.
yay.
So
Hey,
he gonna run down.
Alvin Kamara is the setup, and A-Rod is coming in like the closer, baby.
hey man,
Mariano Rivera. Okay.
I think it's amazing that me and DeMarcus joined Marcus League and made it to the
Well,
playoff.
hold on, Griff, because you know how Wilson gonna come with the regular season champ stuff. So let's stay humble.
No. I think
Let's
that
stay
and you know the funny part about that though, it's actually kind of wild the way that league kind of turned out.
And
Because
who's that team that's like the Browns? They were like 0-13. What are they doing? Like what?
man, I
did
have
they
no
try?
idea.
You don't
I
even-
don't think they did. I don't think they did, and revisions will have to be made. But it's so funny that we all got into the playoffs, and every single
Damn, I didn't even
team
think about
in
that.
the playoffs, we all have the same record.
we all 10 and
Same
3.
record. We all have the same
We
record.
just
So
beating
them
up on each
playoffs-
other.
Yeah,
That's-
them playoffs. That's what's gonna make them playoffs actually really fun. Is the fact that it's not a juggernaut and
the
everybody's
three
trying to
the 3
chase.
teams I lost to is the 3 teams in the playoffs.
Exactly, and that's the thing that's gonna make that one really, really fun. And the fact that I appreciate the fact that I had the presence of mind to make those the 2-week playoff format where you play each round for 2 weeks. I think is gonna make it fun too.
In that
10-3 champs. We
It's
all
eight-
10-3. We're all
You know
10-3.
what I'm
we
saying?
all tied.
Somebody is gonna be a
We
10-3
we
champion.
like the
in that.
AFC West.
Hey,
Man,
man, we good, man. We killing it.
No, that league is fun as shit. I at least know the strategy I got to bring. I fucked up my draft. Like looking back, like I fucked my draft.
oh
up.
yes, trust and believe, because I'll be throwing loopholes and curveballs in there for next season because I'm gonna change up that lineup format and stuff like
But
that.
I looked at my draft like, damn, I took these fucking defensive linemen so damn early. I didn't even.
I'm telling you, man, I
passed on like
lost.
Bobby
Yeah.
Wagner. I passed on.
I
Luke.
lost, man. I lost Odell and Jay Ajayi shit to bed, and I just, man, I've been riding the wave and riding that waiver wire, man.
So yeah, man.
But you know, that's the fun thing for fantasy football veterans, man, is that people that know what they're doing and people that have been playing for a while and stuff like that, you kind of know and expect, okay, I'm gonna get my first shot out with the obvious picks and stuff like that. But even from the day that we drafted, we all had people that we were keeping our eye on the waiver wire to go through just in case of injuries, this, that, and the other. It's just a part of fantasy football, but that's the part that kind of separates the folks that say that they know fantasy football from the people that actually know fantasy football. Because if you think you're gonna make it through a whole season without hitting that waiver wire, you're not making no playoffs, buddy.
When I seen
You're not making no playoffs.
I seen Deshaun Watson on that waiver wire. I don't know who the hell dropped him, but thank you.
There was
now,
one before we go. There was one person.
hey, your crazy ass dropped Odell. I don't know what the hell you was thinking.
Oh well, that was in the because I don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I didn't want him as a keeper next year. That's the whole thing. I wanted to draft all fresh. I wanted to start new with everything because it was like Jay Ajayi did nothing for me. He was a keeper, and then Odell just got hurt. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this team next year. I'm gonna start fresh. It is what it is. It's gonna be my team, my control.
Hey, I feel you.
But then, this is the only thing that I had to add was there's a player that I drafted in almost all my leagues, and I traded him away before he was fantasy gold, and that's one Mark Ingram. I traded him during that day bye week because I said, you know what, I can't put up with the shit no more. I know Mark Ingram has the talent. I knew he had the talent. That was the reason why I drafted him. But that 3-headed back horse was pissing me off. And then what happened? AP got shipped off, and the rest is history. And I've been pissed off ever since. I've been bitter about it.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm still going to the playoffs.
AJ
So let's
Green's
go.
still that nigga.
He is, and that's another dude I do regret trading because I once again I went off of
For Julio Jones, I told you.
No, not for
You should be-
Julio.
you
I
should
traded him
be
for
pissed.
Dez.
You traded
remember?
Dez?
You remember I traded him for Dez and Cam
really?
Newton. You remember that was the trade? It was like I was getting because I knew
I thought you
AJ
got
Green.
you told me Julio.
No, I showed y'all the trade. It was for Dez because Dez had a soft schedule. I knew Ezekiel Elliott was going to get suspended, so I knew that Dak was going to give him about 14 targets, and I thought Dez was still going to get his touchdowns and shit. I didn't know the whole Cowboys thing was going to go to shit. And then Cam Newton, he kind of been panning out for me. He been balling, so I ain't been contripping.
Oh yeah,
But
shout
I
out
thought
to
AJ was
for the
going to
late season
struggle
trade.
in these tough matchups, and he's really been still getting his
Can't
touchdown. The yardage ain't been there, but the touchdown's been there, and I fucked
Can't
that one up.
believe you traded AJ for fucking Dez. God.
Yes, Ryan.
Yeah. I would have AJ Green, Antonio Brown, and Michael Thomas. So yeah. It is what
Would
it
y'all
is.
take a chance next year on Tyreek Hill? How y'all feel about his season?
I like Tyreek. He's finishing in the top 5, so it is what it is.
Okay.
Well, as
He's
the
bumble bust.
podcast from y'all, I wasn't high on Tyreek Hill this season. I actually thought that he was going to have a down year. I thought it was more flash in the pan than anything, especially with the fact that there's really nothing else in that offense to kind of distract or take away from constantly bracket covering him. But I mean, he's done pretty decent, all things considered. Would he be like high on my list of priorities? Would I be somebody I'd draft in the first 5 rounds? No.
I'm with you 100%. Well, it seems like Kamara's he damn near top 5 pick now.
Kamara about to be a top 5 pick, homie. Kamara about to be a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. Man,
If you got him in a keeper league, thank your lucky stars. If you don't, y'all better hope that you get that high draft pick next year, because that dude is not going to be on the board very long.
One conversation I seen was keep David Johnson or Kamara. What would you guys do?
I'm still going David Johnson. Love me some David Johnson.
You still keep David?
Yeah.
You said keep both of them. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said
no. I'm being greedy, and I'm saying why can't I keep both? But if I had to choose one or the other at this point,
Kamara probably.
Le'Veon Bell.
It's hard for me not to take. It's hard for me not to keep Johnson because I know the potential that he has, and the fact that he's going to get touches, receptions, everything. I would still lean towards Johnson, to be honest.
Okay. Anything y'all want to tell the people before we wrap everything up?
Enjoy this cold weather, and if you in Houston, get ready for the fantasy playoffs. And that's about it. Really. Oh, I do want to drop this nugget. The rap game is back on Lifetime. So hey, man, you gotta check out JD's. The rap game is still a good It's a good season so far. 2 episodes in, and then also for the family show, Bring It. The little cheerleading, the little dancing dolls, the little girls, or whatever. It's a real good show. I enjoy it. I watch it with Shantae and Xavier. It's a really good show. So check both of those
out. For me, as far as shows, there's 3 that I'm interested in right now. 2 that are currently running, that I'll reiterate again. I like The Gifted on Fox, and I like the Hulu exclusive Marvel's Runaways. I think they're both good shows. I think they both get outside of the box because they don't always have to lean on the A-list characters or the ones that you know in order to put out a good product. And 2-week notice on the fact that Netflix movie Bright with Will Smith will be coming out on December 22nd. I have high expectations for that show. If you want, you can check out the trailer on Netflix or on YouTube. I think it's going to be an interesting of the movie Alien Nation from a while back. Other than that, like my man Griff said, it's that good stew, chili, gumbo weather. For the thick brothers and thick sisters out there, it's cuddling season.
It's cuddling season.
Get ready for them hey big head texts to come out of nowhere.
What you doing at 2 p.m.?
What you doing? Sleeping?
Hey, what's going on? It's so chilly out here. I was just thinking about coming. No, I'm good. I got gumbo.
I just made some chili. I got the fireplace lit.
You know what I'm saying? No, ain't no gumbo and chill, homie. I'm out here.
His boy said gumbo. God damn it.
You got the good Louisiana folks. Everybody in the chili. Sometimes it might be a gumbo night.
He be lying. He's like, this is stew, girl. This is chicken noodle soup. Don't lie to me.
Oh no. Trust and know. I work at a restaurant. I know the difference. If you coming at me with the stew, nah.
Get out.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Well, next time I steal this place so I can invite Marcus over there. So get this
Man,
dub.
this dude here.
Catch this dub.
This dude
Man,
here.
we can't get Mr. No Show to come out no way anyway, Marcus. So I mean, hey.
Hey man, I don't know what to say honestly. I'll just be busy.
It's cool, bro.
I'm just saying, what's the Thursday night game? Is it
Saints and Falcons?
Saints and Falcons?
I'm down for that. Oh, and the Rockets play that
Gotta
night.
say now. Hey,
Just like
the restaurant's
down
always
there.
open, bro.
I'm down.
I'm
down. I'm not gonna click out. I'm down.
I could at least ate it. I ain't even eat a piece. I was trying to be so respectful for you. I'm like,
Exactly. Trying to hold out for Mr.
Hey,
No Show, but I'm just saying.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna have a good pitch.
Restaurants open Thursday. If y'all want to slide through, man, slide through. Hey,
I'm gonna
watch the
slide.
game. You know how we do it, D.
I gotta see how Kamara. I need Kamara to have a big game, so I'm gonna be there.
Oh yeah, it is.
That'll be very hard. I don't think that'll be very hard against that Falcon run defense.
And then I heard Ingram is hurt, so who knows?
What?
Yeah,
It'll be
he's
interesting
hurt.
to see.
He didn't practice tonight. I mean,
So
he
you
didn't practice today.
Man, I got to deal with Kamara with a full workload.
Yeah, he might get a full.
Hey,
He
man.
might get all
Man.
the touches. Kamara may go for like he might
There's
have
nothing to stop him. He's all the way up.
150 yards rushing, 150 yards receiving.
You know what?
I'm Marshall Falcon numbers, homie.
I'm just go get my bed already. So I'm about to lay
Why
this.
you go to bed early, bro? Why you in the bed at 6
of
o'clock?
misery?
You know what, man? Ain't nothing on TV. I'm gonna just go ahead and lay it down.
You
I'm
go
just
ahead and lay it down.
sleep,
It's already dark outside.
Yeah. So as for now, this ass. No, all right, man.
Oh man, that's
As
funny.
for now, this has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.
Stills ain't going nowhere. Y'all enjoy.
Bill's going to the championship, and Le'Veon Bell lead the league in 10 touches.
Bell overrated trash.
Flag is fly.
Y'all hear this? Hey, I'm just going to,